I busted open the door, not sure if he was still behind me. My heart thundered in my chest as I stumbled into the abandoned warehouse, the only refuge in this desolate industrial district. The door creaked shut behind me, the echo reverberating through the cavernous space. My breath came in ragged gasps, and the chill of fear clung to my sweat-soaked skin. I scanned the shadows, desperately trying to discern any signs of movement. The flickering light bulbs overhead cast eerie shadows, playing tricks on my mind. The warehouse was a labyrinth of forgotten machinery and stacked crates, a graveyard for the relics of industry. I pressed my back against a cold metal wall, straining my ears for any sound that would betray his pursuit. The silence was deafening, broken only by the distant hum of the city beyond these decaying walls. Minutes passed like agonizing hours, and the warehouse remained an unsettling haven of shadows. Just as the tension began to ease, a metallic clang echoed through the air. My head snapped toward the sound, and a shiver ran down my spine. He was here, somewhere in the darkness. I fumbled for my phone, fingers trembling as I dialed 911. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the receiver, a lifeline to sanity in this isolated nightmare. I stammered my location, desperation evident in every word. The dispatcher assured me that help was on the way, but the reassurance offered little solace. My surroundings became more than just the backdrop of an escape. They transformed it into a battleground where my survival hung in the balance. I clutched a rusted pipe I found on the floor, my makeshift weapon, as I cautiously navigated the labyrinth. Every shadow seemed to conceal the threat of his presence. The warehouse's silence shattered when a metallic screech pierced the air. It wasn't just the echoes of an abandoned structure, it was deliberate, a taunting signal that he knew exactly where I was. Panic surged, and I broke into a desperate sprint, the sound of my own footsteps amplifying my vulnerability. I stumbled upon an office, its door hanging askew on rusty hinges. I pushed it open, seeking refuge in its dimly lit interior. The room smelled of mildew and neglect. A desk cluttered with forgotten paperwork stood in the center, a relic of a time when this place hummed with life. As I caught my breath, I noticed a flickering light in the corner. A dusty lamp illuminated a framed photograph, a family frozen in time, their smiles a stark contrast to the terror that now gripped my soul. It was as if the room itself resonated with the fear that lingered within its walls. A distant siren wailed, a faint promise that help was on the way. The dispatcher's voice echoed in my mind, urging me to stay put until the police arrived. But the urgency of survival refused to yield to patience. I stepped back into the warehouse, the metallic taste of fear lingering on my tongue. The flickering light bulbs cast erratic shadows that danced with each step, and the silence hung thick in the air. He could be anywhere, watching, waiting. A distant clatter drew my attention, and I froze. It wasn't the mechanical hum of the warehouse settling. It was deliberate, purposeful. I strained my ears, attempting to discern its origin. My breath caught as I realized it was coming from above. I glanced up to the rafters, my eyes widening with dread. A pair of eyes gleamed in the darkness, fixated on me with predatory intensity. He wasn't just a pursuer, he was a hunter, stalking his prey with a cold, calculated precision. The seconds stretched into an eternity as we locked eyes. The sirens grew louder, the cavalry approaching, but salvation felt distant. With a guttural growl, he descended from the rafters, landing on the warehouse floor with an eerie grace. I swung the rusted pipe, desperation fueling my resolve. He moved with an otherworldly agility, effortlessly dodging my blows. The confrontation became a macabre dance, the flickering lights casting grotesque shadows as we circled each other. In the chaos I glimpsed his face, a mask of malevolence, twisted by the thrill of the chase. The police sirens crescendoed outside, their arrival imminent. But he grinned, a feral expression that sent a shiver down my spine. As the first patrol car screeched to a halt outside, he melted into the shadows, vanishing like a wraith. The warehouse, once a battleground, now stood as a silent witness to the terror that unfolded within its walls. The police flooded the warehouse, their flashlights piercing the darkness. I stumbled toward them, the adrenaline-fueled bravado replaced by a bone-deep weariness. I recounted the harrowing pursuit, the haunted warehouse, and the hunter who remained at large. But even as the police launched a manhunt, the warehouse whispered its own chilling narrative. It echoed with the residue of fear, a lingering reminder that some terrors could not be confined to the shadows.